Hi, this is Mark coming at you from the end of March 2024 and a video regarding the upcoming April 8th eclipse. And there's a lot of things going on. A lot of people have told us about various pieces to this puzzle. I want to tie a few of these things together. Now, this video is primarily being made for Facebook. And so in the comments, there are going to be two specific YouTube videos, not by me, that I need you to watch, that you're going to want to watch. That this guy communicates very well what I've been trying to say, that it's about portals. It's about portals being opened. It's about rituals being done to draw things through, dark entities through these portals into Earth. And that's what causes the problems. We know that they do rituals on solstices, equinoxes, all sorts of things like this. December 25th. They do it on key dates where there are celestial alignments, Earth, Moon, Sun, Jupiter, planets, and all this other stuff. So whether you believe in that or not, they believe in that, and that there is a lensing effect, an energetic effect, from these celestial body alignments that helps give their intentions more leverage, more power, more access to contact powers, thrones, principalities, dark entities of tons of different kinds. There's tons of different kinds. And to bring them here, to get in communication with them, and so forth. This is what the occultists do. This is why a lot of those things that are built to celestial alignments, like the pyramids, like Stonehenge, like all this other kind of stuff, over and over and over and over and over, we see it. And like the Sphinx, it's built to the celestial alignments when the Sphinx was built 10,000 years ago. Over and over and over again, okay? This is done for a reason. So it gives them spiritual leverage. That's the way I'm saying it. So with this eclipse, the point is to do rituals, and CERN is firing up. Now, CERN, again, is a portal opening device. Tons of reports on this, tons of information on this. If you care to look it up, you can find it and verify it and see lots of people talking about this. You can see reports from scientists who've been there, on and on and on and on and on. This is to open things up so that things which should not be here, according to God and God's will, come to Earth where they shouldn't be, to wreak havoc, chaos, destruction. Again, NASA firing 3 missiles up during the eclipse, claiming it's about studying the upper atmosphere. I don't believe that. And it's about Apophis. Well, Apophis is the Greek monster, a primordial, awful, huge monster of chaos and destruction, of annihilation. Yeah, you just don't go, oh, let me just call my missile, oh, the horrible dark monster of chaos, destruction, and annihilation. Yeah, there's no reason for that. It's just, I don't know, I picked a name out of a hat. Nonsense, right? They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly who they are calling on to create the effects that they're trying to create the destruction and the abominations in the earth, to bring on the end times in their will, their way, and their timing. That last phrase is important because we need to pray for God's will, God's way, and God's timing. Now, as we know from the scroll of Revelation and other writings that, there's judgment happening. The judgment of God is going to be upon these creatures as they bring in their transgenderism, their post-humanism, their genetic engineering, and so on and so forth. God judges them because they're unraveling, unmaking God's creation. Again, they try to do order out of chaos, so they're bringing the world back into a state of tohu vabohu, formless and void, so that they can, if they get rid of the Christians, then Jesus will have no reason to return. They reason in their perverted thinking. So they can keep Jesus away, and the second coming of Jesus won't happen, maybe, hopefully, because they're desperate to avoid their divine judgment. which they won't, but they've got an eternity of torment awaiting them. So of course they're desperate to do anything they can do to avoid, delay, prevent, stop God's judgment. So they want a world without Christians, without God believers, so they can render it formless and void, so they can turn it into a barren wasteland, so that they can remake it in a place where they can live. And even in the state of a barren wasteland, that's millions and millions of times better than the judgment of God upon them. So they want to bring destroying beings here. Destroy, especially the Christians, first and foremost of all. Secondly, humanity in general. Change their genetics so much that they're no longer human, and so on and so forth. So we've got the rockets going off. We've got the CERN going off. But we also have officials telling us putting out all these strange, fearful messages. National Guard called out. People saying watch out, people might be experiencing animalistic behavior, and they might be experiencing seizures during. They've never warned about this in any other eclipse. How come magically it's happening at this particular, or they say it's happening? Again, I'm not saying that what they're saying is completely true. I'm saying there is a massive amount of very strange warnings that don't have to do with just the happening of the moon passing between the Earth and the Sun. Now, also, let's bring also into this the Three-Body Problem recent show on Netflix, which is dark. I found it pretty interesting, but there's a lot of darkness, a lot of bad stuff in that. But there's this supposed planet, which is probably imaginary, maybe real someplace, who knows, that is pulled by the gravitational forces of three suns. If you haven't seen the thing, I just gave away a chunk of the first part of it. Only season 1 is out. Just came out. And so it's got this erratic thing, and depending on where it's being tugged by these different suns, things may get crazy hot, things may get crazy cold, and this keeps wiping out the civilization that's trying to live and form there on this thing. And this is happening in a simulated virtual reality game, and blah blah blah. That's not the point. The point is that they show at one point in the process they were trying to solve this problem of how to keep the population alive. All the three suns line up, okay, in one direction, and so the gravitational pull of the three suns is no longer in three different directions, which was a chaotic situation for them to be in. Very hard to sustain life there. The chaos in this, and this is a Netflix show, okay, which at least the Obamas used to own a large part of Netflix. I don't know if they still do. So all the three suns lined up. The gravitational forces of the three suns also lined up, and it started pulling people off the Earth. They're floating up into the sky. Well, maybe this could be a signal for a false, like a mockery of the rapture. But consider this. Okay, so that's what's going on in the show. Now, let me relate that back to this eclipse. When we know already for a fact, it's on record, it's been documented over and over and over and over and over, the sun has a gravitational pull. Of course the sun has a gravitational pull. It's a huge mass. The Earth has a gravitational pull, but the moon has a gravitational pull. So more earthquakes happen when there's a full moon. It's a fact, over and over and over again. Is it a huge, vastly a crazy amount? No, but it's a significant amount. Now, so in a lunar eclipse, meaning the moon is between the Earth and the sun, therefore the sun's rays are blocked for a portion of Earth. It doesn't black out the whole Earth. They're blocked for a portion of the Earth, and there's a shadow on the Earth because of that, right? Because the moon's in the way. Not the whole Earth, part of the Earth. But we have now not three suns aligned, tripling all of their gravitational pulls adding up, but we have the sun's gravitational pull and the moon's gravitational pull both in a line. So that force that would set off earthquakes not to a crazy degree, but to a significant degree, is now lined up. So we have all the more chance for earthquakes, all the more chance for instability. People are noting that elephants seem very agitated, and they are traveling toward higher ground just in the past 10 days. Things like this. So this is a bunch of bizarre stuff. Does any one thing in and of itself prove? No, but it all adds up to, why are they calling out the National Guard? Why are they saying, watch out for a biological attack at this time? Why all of this stuff at the same time? Well, we know that the elites, meaning the globalists, meaning those who covertly worship Molech and Baal, are planning to do much mayhem, much false flags, much darkness. So yes, there's the portals aspect, pulling entities through. There's the extra gravitational forces that are lined up in only one direction. Maybe that makes for a little bit higher tides. And we've had this many times in the past. It hasn't made, but maybe, it hasn't made for crazy tides. It hasn't set off tsunamis. It has increased earthquakes a little bit. But what if they have things on the edge where things are about to be earthquakes, and now there are earthquakes all the more? There are technologies to set off earthquakes. There are earthquake machines. There are things that set off vibrations and pulses to do earthquakes. What if all of these National Guard and all of these people poised, and sheriffs being told to be on the extra alert, watch out for people behaving crazy, having animalistic behaviors? What if this was a result of A, the occult rituals themselves, B, the resulting extra presence of fallen entities in our skies and on the earth? And now, let me bring in another. And so what if that's setting off earthquakes and natural disasters? What if they're on the verge of going, and our technology just gives those earthquakes a push with pulses and frequencies to set them off? So we know that they love to create crisis so they can rule by crisis. We know that they want to take our guns, want to issue in martial law, which they probably won't actually call martial law, but everything will be done seemingly, supposedly, for our safety and our benefit. That's how they always do it. They always bring in tyranny and repression and their push their dark agendas forward by claiming it's all for all these great, wonderful reasons to help us because they love us so much. Now, the other aspect of it, disease has become digital. And it's not a biological disease solely and purely in and of itself. It is the same frequency and resonance that a particular disease has. If you can duplicate that waveform, it has most of the same effects as the actual biological disease in the body, in animal bodies, in human bodies, and so forth. What if the rockets being release pulses that are waveforms of disease? So all of a sudden, kind of a plague breaks out. Now, again, I remind you, if you've been tracking this, probably not. I'm probably one of the few who've been, whoa, wait a second. Once I understand what's going on, let's notice. Over and over and over again, I don't have a list to read off to you, but I guarantee you there's at least 50 things that would be on this list if I took the time to make out a list. I got a mower in the background. But, and this is my fig tree in the background here. Waveforms, digital disease. So, regain my thoughts. They want another plague so they can have another lockdown, so they can implement hyper control and claim, have a little bit of plausible deniability, this is all for your good. They don't need to spread active bacteriums, viral agents. They need to push the waveform of disease, and most people will come down with that disease, especially when they already have very highly compromised, that's the word I was trying to say, compromised immune systems, from that thing that they were doing right here recently. So, here I'm back on point. So, what we see over and over again is, oh, well, this equinox came or this solstice came, and you, Mark, you're out there saying, oh, pray against the ritualists doing all their occult rituals. Well, nothing bad happened on that day. Well, it happened spiritually, but you're not seeing the results of it out in the world till later. We have all kinds of horrible and bad things happening soon thereafter, within 1 to 2 weeks. And so, again, the eclipse itself may seem to come and go without that much crisis, or we may have people acting crazy, or we may have people, but when the rituals happen spiritually, it happens in the spirit realms, it happens in the heavenly realm, the first heaven meaning the atmospheric realm, and then it happens physically. So they push waveforms through the skies, right, in the first heaven. This can cause disease. Doesn't mean the disease manifests fully on April 8th itself. It could take a week or two to manifest in the body. But over and over again, I have personally witnessed some horrible situation comes out, a war is declared, or a huge disaster happens, or a great loss of life happens, and it happens the next week after the solstice. The next week after these things where we know the occultists focus their dark rituals, because they know that their dark rituals have the most potency, the most, I'm going to say, spiritual leverage, the most potency during those times. So take a look at that. I want you to watch the 2 videos posted on the Facebook links. I'm going to post this to Rumble as well. If you're not watching it on, if you're not one of my Facebook friends, then you won't see these other links to these other videos. But this is where this guy is saying most of these same points. He's doing a good job of talking about it. He's doing a good job explaining it. It is not just me. It's what I already felt. It is what I already sensed. It's what I felt. Alarmed? Yeah, alarmed. Apprehensive? Yeah, apprehensive. Am I in fear as if God's not in control? No, of course. I know God's in control. But a lot of things that happen aren't God's will. Do you understand? Some people say, oh, God's in control, as if everything that happens was his expressed will. No. Right? God has put us to be his hands and feet on earth, right? We're the ones who are supposed to be praying, thy will be done on on earth as it is in heaven. Why would we need to pray that if God's will is automatically being done? No, look around and see the evil, see the blasphemies, see the degradation. God's will is not being done because we, the church, we, the believers, who have spiritual power and authority, are compromised, impure, in sin, so that we're not stepping into our identities. The Bible says the whole universe is groaning and travail, waiting for the sons of God to be revealed. Right? The whole earth, the whole world. So we're supposed to be taking up our spiritual authority for good, to get in alignment with what God's will, and pray that God's will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Now, this is not a lecture. This is like, I want people to connect the dots. There's a lot of people putting out a puzzle piece here and a puzzle piece there. Well, let's connect the dots. Let's see the big picture of what's going on. Tons of crazy things are going on. Tons of warnings are going out, as by governments, by sheriffs, by various officials, as if this is going to be some huge calamitous events. Stay home. Treat this as a snow day. Don't go. Take the day off. Don't go into work. What? There's never been, like, in and of itself, the moon passing between the earth and the sun is not some freakazoid disaster event in and of itself. I'm talking about the physical objects. But spiritually, is because evil people are using it to get in agreement with evil fallen beings so they can come here and wreak havoc on this earth. Life is going to get a lot harder after the eclipse. Well, it's the next day after the eclipse and it's not that much harder. I don't know. Yeah, well, just wait. Just wait. 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. And it will be. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. You don't let your life gets, all your problems go away, well, then you can comment on my video that I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm talking about, okay? But life is going to get harder. I've already put up a prayer where we say, God, if all these things that they're trying to bring through these portals to Earth, if it's not your will, being by being, if it's not your will, God, block them from coming here. Block them from coming here. Close their portals. So we have the portal aspect. We have NASA sending rockets up to. We're just measuring the upper atmosphere. You're messing with the atmosphere, or you're firing off pulses that contain disease frequencies. We have warnings as if a lot of people are about to get sick, as if there's about to be a health crisis, as if there's plagues and pandemics. Well, the moon passing between the Earth and the sun itself does not cause biological incidents. But their funny business can, their disease frequencies can, them messing with our atmosphere can, them firing up CERN to open up. Again, the Earth has an electromagnetic shield around it. It's not a impenetrable shield. It's penetrated at the poles where we see the northern lights, where ion particles. But there's tons of, man, I'm forgetting the data and the specs, but 11 tons a second or something of solar material flung at the Earth. And again, I don't have all the specifics at hand to relay this perfectly. A second is flung at the Earth and it's diverted by the electromagnetic shield around us. Again, CERN has a magnetic field. It's crazy strong magnets. It will fire up for pulses of a magnetic field that's actually stronger than Earth's own natural magnetic field. Again, this is all unnatural stuff. This is synthetic electromagnetism. And that could take down for a while our electromagnetic shield, which may, I say may as if to soften it to you guys. I know for a fact it does. It's not may. It will, and it does allow more entities through. How exactly that works, how exactly the electromagnetic shield of Earth makes it hard for some entities to come through, I don't understand that. I don't pretend to. But it does. And if our electromagnetic shield is down, as happens with solar storms and some CMEs, coronal mass ejections, and so on and so forth, evil can get here that's not supposed to be here. It can get here all the easier. So realize this. We have a confluence of events. And so take into account the portal aspect, the disease aspect. Take into account all the weird things that officials are saying, whether they're just a local sheriff or whether it's national or whether it's the World Health Organization. They're acting as if we're about to have mass chaos and mass disease. Does their acting that way prove it and make it happen? Is it there to put fear in our hearts so that we make it happen? No, I don't believe those things. Maybe there's a slight possibility, but I believe that it is technology used to invite the chaotic Apophos, the chaos monster. Look this up. It was highly featured in a movie about Egypt. I don't remember the name of it, but where they were showing off these different quote-unquote gods. Apophos, the chaos monster, and Ra is fighting the chaos monster, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is pagan mythology, pagan belief systems. But why would they send rockets about the chaos monster? That which wants to tear everything apart, that which wants to devour everything, that which wants to plunge the whole world into darkness. Again, this is all Apophos according to Egyptian mythology. I'm not saying it's the truth. I'm saying they are calling upon, I'm saying that there's a real entity behind it. There's a real Apophos entity, a spiritual entity behind it. I'm not saying all the Egyptian stories about it are true, but I'm saying there is something to it. And I am saying that NASA, which is an occult organization, is indeed calling upon the primordial chaos monster. So they're trying to make mass chaos and destruction and calamity happen on Earth. They will succeed to some degree. How much they succeed actually doesn't depend on them. It depends on you and I. It depends on you praying against it. May God bless you. Now, please take this into prayerful consideration. Pray for wisdom, discernment, understanding, and so forth. And watch the 2 videos. If you're on Facebook, watch the 2 videos in the link below this. Thank you very much.